All right, let's take a look at it. We'll just jump over to like the 1 minute mark because to be honest, it's so weird that he said that like what is it that Withering Waves doesn't have a me in their community, which is like the most wildest take I've ever heard in my entire life, to be honest.
A video popped up on my feed yesterday, and the title read, "This is genuinely ridiculous," and it featured two of some
Yeah, I saw this popped up too as well.
my favorite gacha creators, Mr. Pokey and EO. I think Tectone also just dropped a video recently with almost the exact same thumbnail and the same title. I haven't watched that one yet, but I watched this one. I watched this one with Mr. Pokey. I gave it a watch, and the title did not lie. EO is a gacha game content creator, most known for his coverage on Honkai.
Oh, he's a so okay. Wait. I thought he was a fighting game person. Wait, he's a gacha game content creator? I thought he was a wasn't he what? I thought he was a fighting game person. Isn't he supposed to be a fighting game content creator slash captain? He proclaims he is. Oh, so he's lying, so he's not. Do we really need a fighting game CC to confirm that what we already know, which is common sense? No evidence. So there's no... So can anyone just be a fighting game like captain, like teacher, coach? Like anyone can I say I'm a fighting game coach too as well? Can I just say that as well? Okay, interesting. So I can say it too as well.
Kai Star Rail, Withering Waves, and now Zenless Zone Zero. Recently, he's been catching a lot of flack for this video, which unfortunately we cannot review on its own because he paywalled it and restricted it to members only. Now, I don't blame him. Apparently, he was being bombarded by a lot of hate comments, and unfortunately, a lot of that hate came with a side of racism, which of course, that absolutely sucks. But I'm sure what you're wondering is, why is he receiving all of this hate? All I have...
I can be a coach for chess too.
is Mr. Pokey's reaction to it, which is an
Yes, there are a bunch of frauds. Really interesting. I did not even know about that actually.
hour and 30 minutes. Now, I'm not going to sit here and react to what is equivalent to a full-length movie, but
Yeah.
we're going to use clips and I'll do my best to summarize his points.
Yeah, I want the summary of it. I want like a good smaller summary. As much as like, you know, I just don't wanna sit here and watch like an hour film or so and then talking about it specifically, and I feel like it's gonna be even longer, so.
In EO's video, he talks about an unnecessary war between the Withering Waves and the Zenless Zone Zero communities. Withering Waves is seen as a more hardcore Soulsborn game baptized by Mr. Miyazaki himself, and Zenless Zone Zero is seen as an old Fisher-Price hand-me-down in terms of difficulty. And so what that means,
Which it is. Zenless Zone Zero's combat difficulty is like so fucking easy, you know? I'm gonna be a coach for Monster Hunter on how to beat Zenogre. I don't know about that one, to be honest. I don't know about that one. Yeah, like isn't like yeah, Zenless Zone Zero's like thing is not that great. It's like the difficulty is like non-existent, to be honest. It's like really non-existent.
is you have a lot of Wuthering Waves commenters dogging on Zenless Zone Zero as a game, practically since day one. And I've seen this myself. A lot of content creators especially were straight hating on the game since its launch and have only recently started to change their perception of it.
No, I have not changed my perception whatsoever. I still think this game is mid as fuck, to be honest. This game is hella mid. It's better than Genshin because the flashiness, right? But man, dude, man, that's about it. That's all I can say about it. It's so mid, to be honest. Like I just only pressed 2 buttons in Zenless Zone Zero, and that is basically it. It's not gonna change from the beginning of the game to the end of the game, okay? It's literally not going to change anything for me.
That's what this video is supposed to be talking about. But to anyone,
shit, I'll even stream Zenless Zone Zero one day again, and I'm just gonna use only 2 buttons. So, and if I pass out on stream too, chat, well, you know, I blame Zelda Zone Zero, so.
When actually paying attention to what EO was saying, it's clear that he is just using this video as a means to vent out his frustrations and grievances against both the Wuthering Waves community as well as his—
No, I didn't pass that on stream. No. No, I'm saying if I pass that on stream, if I play Zelda Zone Zero again. I think, King, you need to clean your ears there, mister.
his own. At the same time, he props himself up as this sort of peak content creator that has passion for his craft, and that the Wuthering Waves community's problem is that they don't have him or someone like him.
I know.
Dude, it's like the enviosity thing. It's like, I should be the only motherfucker getting praise in this shit.
Know the reason the Wuthering Waves community is the way it is. This is gonna sound really egotistical.
Because it is very egotistical, to be honest. Your ego. What's going on with people having massive egos? Hold on. Wait. Hold up. Hold up a second. Hold up a second. Hold up a second. Hold up a second. Hold on a second. What's this, guys? What's this? Hold on. Hold up a second. Hold up a second. Hold up 1 second. Bro, he only has like 34K subscribers. Where is this dude getting this massive ego from? Bro, what's up with these people? What's up with these people getting like so much massive egos or so from having like a small fan base? I don't understand. Like this is like the second person I've seen so far that has a massive ego or so, you know, of having like 34K subscribers. Wow, you have 34K subscribers. Damn, dude, that sure is a lot, you know? Like I'm saying, it is a lot, but it's not massive or anything. Like, you know? I think Zelda Zone Zero has the same difficulty issue with Azurlane. 95% of the game is a breeze until the 5% is just dumb hard with mechanics, or that one mode that I avoid because it's just bullshit. Man, dude, I bet you could beat the entire game, dude. I guess with just 2 buttons, that's all I need. That's basically it. At least the girl with green hair had 50K. Yeah, she's technically bigger than him. Oh my god, dude. What is up with these people, dude? What is happening? Who are these people?
And I don't mean this as egotistical as
Yo, this is about to be absolute cinema.
this is gonna sound. But I want to make this message very clear, okay? Wuthering Waves community,
Really?
the Neo Genshin community, does not have a me. What I mean by that,
That's
you don't have someone
crazy.
who's actually—
And so people's response to this is obviously
To be fair, not for the hardest fight. You really need to focus because one hit drops you to near death. That just sounds like a skill issue.
angry, they're furious, and every little bad thing they thought about EO starts to boil over and come to light. EO is known by his circle of content creators and their fan bases as Bad Take EO, which honestly is a little mean, but after looking into it, I think one thing that is very clear is that EO has a
like
huge
staring.
ego and has been holding this over others for a while now. In his video, EO talks about another video he made. Broken New Tech is what is shown in the thumbnail. And in that video, he showcases a lot of cool tech for Wuthering Waves.
You saw how many times I canceled 4 different launchers. Guys, this is very important. I know this is like, some of y'all are gonna be like, bro, this doesn't matter. I can just mash square. John wants to use his ultimate anyway. There's a very key thing that I want y'all to understand, that it's easy for fighting game players to understand this. It's very difficult for gacha game players to understand and accept this.
But this is not a fighting game. This is Withering Waves is not a fighting game. It's a gacha game. It's not a fighting game. Why do you think there's fighting game, like, why do you think there's like a big group of fighting game players playing Withering Waves? No, it's gacha gamers playing gacha games. It's not fighting game players playing a gacha game. No, it's Gacha gamers. It makes you lose 70% of DPS if you use it.
I just told you guys, it's basically square, hold square, and then jump. You hear the clunk? You hear the clunk? As soon as I hear the clunk. Boom. Now that you know this, this is called Kara canceling.
This is called Kara canceling? Yeah, but the problem is, look.
Boom.
Only the upper slash, it's only doing like 2,000 damage. But look at this, you're missing all of this.
Boom. Now
you see that? You see that? Like, how is that even a good tech?
hold square and then jump. You hear the clunk? You
You see?
hear the clunk? As soon as I hear the clunk.
Like the first juggle up is fine, but the problem is if you keep doing it, you're only doing like 2,206 damage. That's it.
Boom. Now that you know this, this is called Kara canceling. Now I can take Kara canceling to the next stage. Now I can implement negative edging. Negative edging basically is where you hold an input, you do something else, and then you basically release the punch button, right, that you were holding onto the whole time, so that you can get the input immediately. Frame one, you're gonna get whatever input you were looking for. Look. Gion is still, he performs the full thrust into launch.
Now, there are...
You were looking for. Look.
Yeah, but like, you can just like do the full combo, right? You can do it in the, like, you're doing it in a mid animation combo, right? I've done this before. You can just change the character and then she's still, like, the character is still doing the combo still. So like, it is just quick swapping. That's all. It's just, well, it's mostly like just quick assist swap, to be honest. Because you're bringing in the other character and it's assisting the character that's on the field, and that's pretty much about it. So go juggle the monkey. I dare him, man. I don't fucking juggle that motherfucker.
Gion is still, he performs the full thrust into launch.
Now, there are two gigantic problems in that video. One, the tech he shows is incredibly limited in its actual utility. Withering Waves is a game similar to Zenless Zone Zero. The objective of many endgame stages either involves destroying a boss or destroying an elite with a few mobs.
Yeah, cause you're fighting bosses, and bosses you can't juggle them. Man, trying to make the unofficial Tekken Tag Tournament 3. It's like bosses are like you can't juggle them. Like 9 times out of 10, you're only gonna be using these at small mobs. But even then, it's just like me doing like a full combo, right, with 2 characters completes all of the enemies faster than me trying to do that weird combo with Gion.
The tech he displays involves juggling, which can only be done against the low-level mobs, not elites or the bosses. And on top of this, Withering Waves apparently has a combo limit mechanic, which prevents the mobs from being juggled after a certain amount of time. And the other huge problem is that he is forcing a lot of
Bro is pushing Wu into Evo tournaments.
Confusing fighting game jargon onto the gacha game community. In this video, the tech that he showcases are labeled negative edging and Kara cancels. Now, the first term, negative edging, is extremely funny
Yeah, it is pretty funny. I'm not gonna lie, that I'm gonna negative edge on your face.
considering how many edging jokes there are nowadays, but I've personally never heard of negative edging being...
I've never heard of that term ever, actually, to be honest. Don't worry, ZZZ has PvP in the form of snake fight, fighting game in a certain point of view.
Used like that because negative edge isn't really an active verb as much as it is just a noun, right? A game can allow for negative edge inputs, otherwise known as just button release inputs, and certain fighting game techniques are easier to pull off with negative edge. But it's not like I can negative edge
Can't
all
wait for
over
the Gacha esports. Oh man, I can't wait for that shit too as well, man. That's gonna be crazy.
you or anything like that. But that's besides the point. The reason why I'm doing this video in the first place is because I feel like if EO decided to watch this, let's say, that I might be one of the only people who can call him out on the ridiculousness of this, of his conduct recently, and for him to take that criticism to heart. Not only am I a content creator, I am also a huge fighting game fan. I've been playing fighting games for at least 15 years since the launch of Vanilla Street.
Well, there you go. He's a fighting game fan, but he's not a fighting game coach. You see the difference? You see the difference there? He's a fighting game fan, like how I am. I'm a fan too as well for fighting games, right? But he's not a coach.
Street Fighter 4. Now, maybe EO can kick my ass in something like Street Fighter 6. I honestly don't know. I don't play actively. How I play fighting games is that I usually have like 2 or 3 days where I just binge hardcore and then I stop for a few months and then come back to it whenever I feel the itch again, right?
That makes sense. I feel like that's kind of like me too as well. You know, when it comes to fighting games, like I'll play for a bit or so and then I'll stop playing it after a while. Going to the first Gacha esports.
I'm only platinum rank in Street Fighter 6 with Aki. I've played a ton of other fighting games though in my 15 years, obviously. Tekken, Marvel vs. Capcom 3, Blaze Blue, Skullgirls, Dragon Ball Fighters, you name it, right? Probably more than I can remember. The point is, I'm very familiar with the jargon he's trying to push onto the gacha game community, and honestly, he's incredibly off base.
Yeah, because he's like pushing these weird. I don't know, dude. He's just pushing these weird stuff or so. Like he thinks he's catering to the fighting game community, but he's not. These are gacha game players, you know. Like most of them play on their phone. You think they're gonna do these weird techniques or so on the fucking phone?
Not only is it silly to try and force these terms onto this community, but it's not even being used properly. If we're going to be pedantic and demand things being called the proper names, then what he's calling Kara canceling is not actually Kara canceling. Kara canceling is originally a Japanese term because fighting game players are weebs, and a lot of tech came from Japanese players who would know life at the arcades and find these techniques.
You know, it's funny. I'm not I may not be from like, I may not have been raised in Japan or anything like that. But the funny thing about it, right? Arcade games used to be a thing, right? So like the only like game like I truly ever played was like, what is it, Street Fighter 2, I think. And that was at the laundry mat or so. And I played fighting games there. I went immediately straight towards the arcade machine and just played it like the entire time. That's literally the only time I ever played it because I really liked some of the characters around there. I liked the pretty colors and they were like, beating each other up. It was kind of funny to see. It was kind of funny to see Blanca or so with his eyes and his mouth going like that and stuff like that. So yeah, it's funny because like I played a lot. I played it like almost every single time I went into the laundry place. So a
lot of the prominent fighting games like Street Fighter is made by a Japanese company, so obviously a lot of Japanese players are really into it.
That's just like a lore. That's just like a lore thing that I just dropped or so how I was. So Legend says you can jiggle mobs in Honkai Star Rail if you press fast enough. Oh, we had a bunch of arcade machines over here, so I played arcade machines. So the only one I played the most was the Street Fighter one. That was the one I played the most. That's why when I play fighting games, I have to play it with the fight stick. I just can't play it on the controller. It just feels weird.
Kara comes from the Japanese word
because I played it on sorry for pausing a lot. I played Tekken, right? But I played it on the controller. It just didn't feel right with me specifically compared to like a normal fight stick. So
kara, which means empty. If you or EO read the definition on the fighting game glossary or whatever, you might stop at the first clause, which reads the ability to very quickly cancel a move into another move and ignore practically everything else. But Kara canceling is not that. That's just describing a cancel. And how he's doing it is by inputting a jump command with his launcher.
What are you talking about? Cut what out? I'm the one who edits these videos.
When Gion launches the enemy with his spear,
Like
when
gun-
that
like
launcher
gun-
makes
gun
contact
guy?
with the enemy, he puts a
Oh, I remember that. Oh yeah, okay, I know what that is or so.
jump command to cancel the recovery of it. But a Kara cancel is a very specific type of cancel. Kara canceling refers to canceling a move into another move before the first move completes its startup frames.
Well, yeah, of course.
A fighting game move has 3 phases. It is the startup frames, so like your character winding up for the punch, right? The active frames where your character's actually throwing the punch, where it's active, where the opponent will be receiving the hit. And then the recovery frames when you are sort of following through the motion, but you're not actually dealing damage, right? The recovery frames, you recovering from throwing the punch. In most fighting games, a normal cancel involves canceling a normal move into a special attack as soon as the normal move hits. Kara canceling strictly means that the first move can.
I thought Chun-Li was cool when I saw Chun-Li. When I saw Chun-Li or so on the arcade machine, I thought for me personally, it's like, damn, Chun-Li is so cool. I like her, you know. So yeah, I chose to play Chun-Li. I chose to play what's his name? The stretchy guy, the bald Indian stretchy guy. I don't know what his name is. And I played what's his name? What is his name? Harada or so? The sumo wrestler guy. Those were the 3 that I played or so on the arcade machine. It was pretty fun. I actually quite enjoyed it. Dalsum, is that his name? Dalsum? Oh yeah, that's coming to me now. Yeah, Dalsum. Yeah. Yeah, the stretchy guy, the flamethrower. He throws like flamethrowers so back then. Like he blew like fire and stuff like that. So
Not hit. It does not hit. Now you might be wondering, why would anyone do that? Isn't that just less damage?
probably.
Wouldn't you want the normal hit to land in order to make a small little combo? And the answer is no. I'm very familiar with Kara canceling because it's how you perform one of the most popular techniques in Street Fighter 4, Ken's Kara throw. Ken has a special normal move, forward medium kick, where Ken takes a large step forward, then leads with a toe kick. This move pushes him forward by a lot. And the idea is that before the toe kick actually comes out, you would cancel it with a throw input. This lets you essentially extend the range of the throw by a huge margin. And having this technique was a huge advantage that Ken had over other characters. The importance here is though that this move must have started up. That's how Ken
The
is
god
pushed
of
forward
those
so much.
thunder
And
thighs.
that it
yeah.
must
My thighs are nowhere near Chun-Li's like size. So
be canceled before the kick actually comes out. Why? It's because the toe kick itself isn't cancelable, and even if it was cancelable, you wouldn't be able to land a throw since throws cannot combo from hits. So what EO is showing is just a normal cancel. He's canceling Gion's launcher with a jump input that doesn't come out if timed properly, allowing him to use other moves. He's not canceling the startup of the first move. The first move landed. The launcher.
damn, this guy is literally calling his BS out on the video, dude. I'm gonna be honest with you. It's kind of interesting to just learn about it specifically, and then like, cause you know this guy is apparently needs to be praised in the community.
Landed, and he's not canceling the startup of the following move either. He's canceling the remaining active and
Yeah,
recovery
of course he's canceling. He's not canceling anything before he like does the initial like
frames
launch
of the
move, so-
launcher so that he could do another move.
Yeah.
And with regards to negative edge, yeah, that's the correct use, I think. I don't have Gion, so I can't test it out myself, but I'm assuming he's releasing his attack button here, which leads Gion to do an aerial follow-up even when he's not the active character. Which is cool, right? That is really cool. It's honestly cool stuff. So I'm not
For new people, Ko is big, humble. She is in fact does have Chun-Li thighs, allegedly. I do not have Chun-Li thighs.
trying to discredit EO. Actually, I think he and his buddies are coming up with cool and EO makes good content on a consistent basis. But
yeah, I do have to say it's cool, right? It's cool, right? Specifically, right? That's cool, but like, you know, in practical terms, right? In an actual boss fight, you wouldn't do these things. It's like basically because I watch Max, right? Maximilian, right? There's just certain moves. There's like certain moves in fighting games you just don't do compared to other moves, you know, because like some of them are style stuff, but you don't like the practicality of doing it. It just doesn't work. Because I remember watching a video or so of Max or so, and he was like explaining like I forgot which fighting game it was, but it was one of the older fighting games or so, and he was like explaining specifically like certain moves, you know. Yeah, it's more like animation cancel or reload cancel. I'm not even a fighting game player, and I can tell the difference. Yeah, it's like okay, whatever, man. I don't know. Okay.
But I have to say, as a fellow fighting game fan, I think EO would do himself a ton of favors if he stopped seeing the Gacha community, his community, the Withering Waves community, whatever, as the unwashed masses, and that fighting games are their salvation.
He just thinks of it as like a fighting game. Like it's not a fighting game. It's a third person like Withering Waves is a third person hack and slash game. Zenless Zone Zero is a third person hack and slash game. That's it, you know. So I
get that EO is trying to show his love for fighting games and integrate that into his brand, but people can sense the ego and know that you're
I can sense the ego off the beginning of this video, to be honest.
talking down on them when you say like this.
That it's easy for fighting game players to understand this. It's very difficult for gacha game players to understand and accept this. And if you guys can't do this immediately, it's okay. Welcome to fighting games, buddy. Y'all think y'all are doing something now? That's baby. That is like the easy, and I know it's obviously not easy for you guys because some of y'all are saying like it's harder. I'm not calling anybody like bad or baby or whatever.
Fighting game tech isn't exclusive to fighting games. Cancels, Kara canceling, negative edge, footsies, neutral, you name it. All of these things exist in other games and other genres.
Yeah, like reload canceling. That's one of the things. There's like many different ways of doing reload canceling in Call of Duty or so, right? You would quick swap your triangle button to reload cancel, you know, at that one part of the frame or so, right? When he's putting in the magazine, right? And then they changed it or so, and then what you do instead is like you either run to reload cancel or you knife in the air to reload cancel. You know, that was like one of the other texts or so specifically of what to do or so in shooters, you know? A lot of people abuse the shit out of it, so. And then there was also the tech tip or so in in Black Ops 3 or so, where I don't know what was the term called specifically, but like if you time on the perfect frame or so when you're jumping back down or so from your boost or so, right? You can get an extra boost slide and then you can abuse it as a movement system, you know? So it's like that's what it was back in Black Ops 3 specifically. And then there was the same thing too as well with trick shotting snipers or so back in Modern Warfare 2, silent sniping or so, right? Where you can, I think it was in Modern Warfare 2, I'm not too sure specifically which one it was, but you can do like a silent snipe or so where it doesn't make a sound effect or so, but you have to do all these like weird things you have to do or so in order for you to pull it off. So, you know, he's acting like the Messiah or something. Any cancels are very important in ARPGs, for example. I'm going to use a Dead or Alive series to make a gacha first game, and guess what? EO ain't getting a code. Damage boost with animation cancels. He will claim the volleyball is a fighting game.
Genres. The FGC loves to put a label on all these techniques because the skill ceiling for any fighting game is something that is always increasing. Fighting games are inherently competitive, so everyone is trying to have a leg up over the.
Maybe one. I know we'll be streaming Tekken on Wednesday, so that'll be pretty fun. It's been a while. It's been a long time since I played a Tekken game, so.
The other, as well as teach each other.
I don't even know who's gonna be my new favorite now in Tekken, to be honest, because there's a lot of new characters in there. There's some old characters, but they don't. I assume that they don't play the same way as back in Tekken 3 or so, I think.
how to get better. It's very research intensive. You want to learn these new things. It's a matter of convenience to put these labels on everything. And the difference is that in the world of gacha games, these techniques are almost never going to be necessary after a certain point. Like Mr. Pokey says, gacha games are time-gated RPGs, and if someone can't clear the content now, they will after they spend the time or money to farm for more levels and equipment. The difficulty is very arbitrary and artificial because the answer is so inherently obvious. And I'm not trying to say like, then don't show cool shit. No, what I'm saying is when you say Wuthering's combat is bad because you spent a week trying to find practical applications for this cool tech, the juggling you discovered, and found out that the game has safeguards to prevent the exploitation of that tech, then I feel like you've lost the plot. Gacha games aren't fighting games, and when you've built up your community to consider difficulty and execution complexity to be inherent values and
Right, all the characters, that's what I did for Tekken to find my main end character I want to learn.
virtues for a game, then don't
Usually I go for a character with aesthetic, to be honest.
be surprised when that same community starts to resent you for calling them out on their supposed toxicity. You're the one who emphasizes the value of these sweaty mechanics, and when you bash on Withering Waves in favor of Zenless Zone Zero, a game that is for all intents and purposes strictly easier than Withering Waves in terms of surviving an encounter, then yeah, the gacha community is going to call you out on that. Now don't get me wrong, I relate a lot to what Io says in that video. Not necessarily the ego stuff where he says he's so passionate about content creation and that the problem with the Withering Waves community is that they don't have a him.
That's fine if you're passionate about something, right? Like just like me, how I'm pretty passionate on PGR. I really do like PGR, but I can't really make content on PGR, you know? Because like it just takes a lot of resources, and I'm just kind of like, I'm only one person. I don't know how to do most of the stuff, and I don't know. It's just for me, it's just kind of like I don't think I'm that great personally, as much as I like PGR. Same thing with Call of Duty or so, right? I like Call of Duty, but the problem is Call of Duty has been shit. So, but the problem is like his ego of saying like they don't have a me, they don't have a me in the community, so. That is basically what I'm having issues with, man. That egotistical shit is, dude, man. That's like the second content creator who has like a massive ego, and they're not even that big of content creators. Like they're not even massive content creators. They're small content creators. Like seriously.
I honestly don't know what he was cooking there, but his gripes with Withering Waves are very similar to mine. I agree that Withering Waves doesn't have a good overworld experience, but that's mostly because I can confidently say that I hate open world gacha games. I think the whole point.
Well, there you go. See, he doesn't like open world gacha games. I understand why he likes Zenless Zone Zero, right? Because it's like stage based. You know, you go from like this one part of the stage, and then you go to the next part of the stage, and then that's it. You know, compared to Withering Waves, where it's just open world. You know, and you can do whatever the fuck you want. You know.
Point of an open world is to
That
be
is revert
immersive,
exploit.
and that it's hard for me to immerse myself in a world that is inherently limiting by the time.
Nah, Ko, the gaming scene needs you to fix the clutterfuck of the modern games. Be our messiah, Ko.
Gate. There's only so many times I can try to farm an echo before I get
PGR ain't PGR without Ko. Ko's lesbian gacha game ain't lesbian game without Ko. You know what? It's been a while since I've opened up my lesbian game. I love that fucking game. It's so goofy, to be honest.
bored of it, and no amount of puzzles can fix
game,
that.
but I love it.
Open world games should emphasize freedom through a sandbox focus design like Metal Gear Solid 5
ブラストアームを発射ロケットパンチ
or Death Stranding.
What the fuck was that? What the fuck? That's part of the game? What the hell? That's so weird.
Your main tools to assist you are ladders and ropes.
Or a self-insert immersive design like with Elden Ring or Skyrim. Genshin Impact and Withering Waves can't hold a candle to these games because they belong to call it a genre or business model, whatever the it doesn't matter. It's a classification that is inherently going to place a lot of limitations on your freedom. And you could say it's ridiculous for me to compare Elden Ring to Genshin Impact, but no, I agree with EU on this point. My time is valuable, and I don't like to spend my time playing bad games that I don't like. I also think that in Wuthering Waves, the combat isn't all that. Like I said in my level 40 review of Zenless Zone Zero, I actually bash on Wuthering Waves quite a bit in that video. And what I say there essentially is that I don't think Soulsborn combat is good without Soulsborn agency. And what I mean is that in games like Elden Ring and Bloodborne, you have so much agency over a million factors that affect difficulty, from your soul level to your build to summons to skadoosh seeds, everything, right? Not only that, you can always turn around from the boss door, farm, then come back. The suffering and frustration is yours to own and mold, but with games like Wuthering Waves, especially as a free-to-play player, you are stuck with what you've got and you need to swallow your pride until you get the gacha energy needed to farm all your mats. It's not a roguelike game. You can't just reset your run because you'd be resetting all the time you put into the account. When you hit a wall, it's hard to place any value in your play and skill and say, oh, I just need to get better, when you know that the designed answer is to simply wait and farm more mats or spend money. And
kind of. You can't just get good in Withering Waves to clear the content, you know? I'm still using like the first three, I'm using the first three like base characters in Withering Waves, you know? I haven't even used any of my 5 stars to fight any of the content stuff. Like I'm still using like the first three characters you get. Baiji, Yang Yang, and fucking Rover. So.
And again, I'm okay with the gacha game being a gacha game, but I think it pairs up badly with Soulsborne-like combat on a personal level.
To be honest, it's kind of weird to compare Withering Waves to like a Soulsborne though. Like yeah, there's difficulty, but it's not nowhere near Souls-like, you know? I know there's gonna be a gacha game that's gonna be coming out in the future that'll be a Souls-like, right? But like this one is not a Souls-like, okay? Alright? Withering Waves is not a Souls-like game, okay?
The difference between me and EO is that I have no problem saying that I don't like Wuthering Waves.
Yeah, it's just a DPS check. That's about it. So it's like basically an MMO. You know, you gotta get a DPS check. So because you're on a time frame, or so specifically, you have to defeat the boss in this certain time frame. So it's just mostly a DPS check.
I have no idea.
That's why for me, I'm working on gear first before working on you know, before trying to fight those bosses. You know, I'd rather work on my gear first than you know.
EO in that video refuses to say he dislikes the game, but gives a million reasons why he doesn't like the game. Even the combat, which he says he likes, he immediately will discredit and call bullshit because the game has safeguards against infinite juggling and it has annoying mobs that use shield mechanics. I love Zenless Zone Zero's combat because it's designed in a fundamentally different way. Zenless Zone Zero doesn't try to be a Soulsborne game. Instead of placing so much emphasis on.
But no one is trying to be a Soulsborne game. The only one that's trying to be a Soulsborne game is that one other gacha game. That's literally it. That's literally it. Like that's the only one that you can say, you know, you can compare that one to a Souls-like game. You know? No, there's already a video out. There's already like gameplay video or so of a boss fight, of an actual Soulsborne fight. So.
And focus on surviving the encounter, it leaves a blank canvas for you to focus on min-maxing and optimizing your own gameplay instead of having to.
Actually, you have lots of reviews, etc., that proclaim Wuwa as Souls-like / Soulsborne games. Wait, you think I have lots of reviews? Or you're talking about the person, and you talk about the person on the video or so?
React to tricky attacks and timed parries. And again, you can say skill issue, that just means it's easier, whatever, I don't care.
Wait, there's people that like compare Withering Waves to a Souls-like in their reviews? It's like basically me comparing Kingdom Hearts 2 critical mode as fucking Elden Ring. Elden Ring DLC, basically. I wish I would have done my review video, but unfortunately Sakura didn't get the chance to, didn't get the chance to do it because he couldn't find the flow. He couldn't find the flow for the video, and I tried to explain to him the best way I could with him, right? I was pretty descriptive of how I wanted the video or so. But, it's his first time editing the video, so that's the only reason why. Unfortunately, I have to scrap that video, and I'm gonna have to change it into a comparison video instead of a review video. It's not a Soulsborn game. It's not a Souls-like game, not at all. It's nowhere near Withering Waves is nowhere near the realms of Sekiro. It's nowhere near the realms of Dark Souls. It's nowhere near the realms of Elden Ring. It's nowhere near the realm of fucking Armor Core, Like, it's nowhere near any of those realms whatsoever. This is, like, far off from Soulsborn or Souls-like whatsoever. It's, like, basically saying, what's that one indie game called? That one famous indie game. It's just, I don't know. This is so dumb. People legitimately think Wuwa is a Souls-like. Why, of all things? Why Souls-like? What the fuck? It's generally accepted that. If there is a dodge or a parry mechanic, people will compare it to a Souls game. This is the most stupidest, idiotic thing I've ever heard in my entire life. Fucking Kingdom Hearts has a dodge, and it has a fucking there actually is a mechanic for parry in Kingdom Hearts 2, which is called Reflect. So, well, it's not really a parry, but it's like, you know what it is. It just reflects the damage back to them, specifically 10 times more damage. It's just basically, okay, whatever, dude. Well, most people wanted a hard gacha game. The hard equals Souls-like because people have chicken brains. This is why I say there are frauds out there. Those people saying Wuwa is a Souls-like never beat a Souls-like. High Fire Brush. Yeah, it feels like Wuwa is definitely more in the realm of like how High Five Rush is like a third person, well, I haven't played the game. I don't know what the tags are specifically, but I see it as a third person hack and slash game, right? It's just a hack and slash game. That's it. It's not a Souls-like game. It's literally, Wuwa is literally in the realms of Devil May Cry. Like, Devil May Cry is like the mid-center part, right, of that genre, right, with Bayonetta and everything, right? And Wuwa is in that circle. It's nowhere near in the realm of Souls-like whatsoever. Like, it's the one that's going to be a Souls-like gacha game is let me see if I can pop it up real quick. Let me see if I can pop this up real fast. This one. It's literally this one. This is the one that's going to be, Unending Dawn. That's what it's called. Are we just forgetting that Unending Dawn is in development right now at this very moment, Like here, watch. Are we just going to forget, are we just going to forget all of this? That this is supposed to be more inspired of Souls-like. This gives me more Souls-like than Withering Waves. Like, seriously. Like this really, like this honestly, like even this boss fight specifically here, watch. This has more souls like than freaking Withering Waves does, you know? Are people crazy? Like, what are we talking about here? You can't be serious, right? Well, they are probably tweens and teens talking this, and some CCs just follow the flow. I'm gonna be honest with you, this is more of a Souls-like game. This here, Unending Dawn, is more of a Souls-like game than it is compared to Withering Waves. Literally, this looks awesome. Yeah, of course it looks awesome. It looks great, to be honest. Like, this is it right here, you know? It's great. It's a gacha game. This is a gacha game. You know, and it's going to be very interesting when it comes out, of course, you know, because they're getting inspired by Souls-like. This will be the first Souls-like gacha game, mobile game that's going to be coming out. So compared to Withering Waves is more in the action RPG. Nah, this is a fighting game. I saw some Kara canceling. Shut the fuck up. That's why I don't understand where these content creators are making this sort of region of saying like, oh yeah, Withering Waves is Souls-like. It's not Souls-like, you know? It's not. It's nowhere near Souls-like. This is more Souls-like. This is 100% more Souls-like, you know? I mean, it's the same as people saying XYZ is a Genshin clone because of similarities. Yeah, but action RPGs have been its own thing. It's been his own genre for like a long time. It's not a Souls-like game. A Souls-like, it's its own thing.
I like the game more because it's more fun for me, and nobody can take that away from me. But yeah, that's what I think about this whole drama. I thought this was relevant because EO brought up plenty of good points on why he didn't like Wuthering, like I did in my previous video, which all of y'all blew up, by the way. Thank you so much for that. And I also think my experience as a fighting game player is something I can use to weigh in on the situation a bit more, since it seems like EO seems to disregard a lot of opinions if they don't come from other fighting game players, which I think is, I don't know, that's a little weird. Thank you all for watching. Like, sub, share, and comment, and
okay, so EO's being dumb, right? Doing all these like cancel techniques and stuff like that. Granted, none of them will work in an actual like hologram fight because that makes like zero sense. Why would you ever want to do that specifically, right? For some of those like canceling moves, right? Like it just doesn't work. You're missing like so many. You're missing so much damage or so specifically if you're trying to do that, you know. And even then, on top of that, it's not even worth doing it. And then also on top of that, I don't know, this is, everyone's saying like he calls Zenless Zone Zero a fighting game character, which is not a fighting game character. It is a third person hack and slash game. Okay, all right. It's literally like, in, you know, as much as like, you know, as much as like, you know, it's probably one of the weakest ones, right? One of the weakest, you know, third person hack and slash games, but it's in the realm of, you know, like, you know, in the genre of Devil May Cry, right? But it's like if Devil May Cry and Bayonetta, right, is at the center of the genre, right? They're like the king and queen, right? The top of the best, right? Wuwa is also in that category, but it's farther. It's a little bit more farther, closer to the circle. While Zenless Zone Zero, it's more farther off in the edge of the circle because it's just a lot weaker. The mechanics in the game are nowhere near as fleshed out as compared to Withering Waves, as compared to Devil May Cry, Bayonetta, Kingdom Hearts, you know, and let's see what else fucking what other one do we have, you know, specifically. So, you know, it's just kind of like it's just nowhere near in that specific realm or so. Like Zenless Zone Zero is like nowhere near there. That's why it's a lot more weaker. Specifically, it's not a fighting game, because if you're saying Zenless Zone Zero is a fighting game, right? If you're saying that shit is a fighting game, like if you look at like Street Fighter 5, Tekken, Marvel vs. Capcom, shit, you can even ask Maximilian and he'll tell you it's not a fighting game. It is a third-person hack and slash game, and that's pretty much it. That's the genre it's in. So I don't know where these people are getting this weird, like, well, especially him. Like, I'm gonna say him specifically. I don't know where he is getting this perspective that Zenless Zone Zero is a fighting game. Withering Waves is not a Souls-like game either. I don't know where these people are getting it from. I wish I would have done my review video a long time ago, but oh well, you know, it is what it is. I trusted someone to try to do it, but unfortunately, you know, it was their first time editing it. I probably should have taken precautionary measures, but oh well, whatever, it is what it is. And to be honest, Withering Waves is like nowhere near a Souls-like, and it's not a Souls-like game. What was in the realm of a beat 'em up, just doesn't have the variety of combos like the DMC or even High Five. That's what I'm saying. Like DMC, like it's still a third person like third person, you know, hack and slash game, right? But the problem is like, you know, Devil May Cry is in the center of that, right? With, you know, Bayonetta, right? Hi-Fi Rush is also there, and whatever other top tier, you know, Kingdom Hearts is also in there too as well, because it's in the center. It's basically closer to the center area, where the center area of the third person RPG, right? Action game, right? Is in the center, which those are the best of the best, right? But then everything else around it, like the more farther out you go, is more weaker compared to that game specifically. Zenless Zone Zero is far off at the edge. Is more closer off in the outer rings or so of that genre specifically, compared to Withering Waves. Withering Waves is a little bit more inwards, but it's not that far inwards. But it's a little bit more inwards than Zenless Zone Zero, because there is more depth or so when it comes to, you know, Withering Waves compared to Zenless Zone Zero. Like there's a big night and difference between the combat. You know, of course, if you're gonna try to make Withering Waves compete against like Devil May Cry is gonna slap the shit out of fucking Withering Waves like no tomorrow. So there's a big night and difference there, of course, you know. So like I said, like, you know, Hi-Fi Rush, Devil May Cry, Bayonetta, Kingdom Hearts, those are the ones that are going to be like the ones that are going to reign king in the inner circle of the genre, you know, compared to Zenless Zone Zero. It doesn't even come nowhere near to any of those four genres of the games, you know, whatsoever. Because if those four hold title or so of king, right, the Zenless Zone Zero doesn't come nowhere near that. So before I said anything Hoyo related is dumb. Now I have to change it to anything Gacha related drama. It's just so stupid. I'm gonna be honest with you. Anything Gacha related, like anything like Gacha drama, is just so dumb, to be honest. I'll be honest with you. It's just really, really, really dumb. I'll be honest with you. The drama is so stupid at stuff I sometimes see a fantasy world building game. Wyverns aren't dragons. Like, this is non-issue. Like, where the fuck are we getting this shit from? I have no idea, to be honest. All right, so conclusion of what I think, right? This drama is stupid, right? Io is pretty dumb of how he decided to do things, of saying like he needs to be praised in the community, you know, because Withering Waves, they don't have him in the community, you know. So also number 2, it's not a fighting game. Withering Waves is not a fighting game. Zenless Zone Zero is not a fighting game. They are a third-person hack and slash game, okay? All right? Let's not forget this genre actually exists, okay? All right, and fighting games are just fighting games, okay? Which is your Tekken, your Street Fighters, your Marvel vs. Capcom, Guilty Gear, Midnight Rebirth, or whatever it's called, Rebirth or whatever, Dead or Alive. You know, those are your fighting games. This is nowhere near in the territory of fighting games, okay? All right, this is their own shit. But yeah, that's just my own opinion or so. Like I've been seeing this weird drama going around specifically recently about this about this IO person calling Zenless Zone Zero a fighting game and then doing these. Like, I get it, he's passionate, he likes fighting games and whatnot, right? But you gotta remember, it's a gacha game, it's a mobile game. People who are playing this are mostly mobile players, you know? Like, a big huge of the fan base are mobile players that are playing this while, you know, some of us playing on PC. Gacha drama is always weird. It's always weird, to be honest. Gacha dramas are so weird, to be honest. For any new people, if you have experienced brain rot from this drama, place your blame at Senna. Yeah, I don't understand specifically, but yeah, anyways, that's pretty much the end of the video. I just kind of wanted to watch this specifically. I wasn't going to watch a 1-hour video about this whole entire thing, but yeah, anyways. You guys can leave me down in the comment sections down below what you guys think about it specifically. Me personally, I don't think Zenless Zone Zero is a fighting game. If you think Zenless Zone Zero is a fighting game, you've never touched a fighting game in your entire life, to be honest. You know, I'll be honest with you. But yeah, you guys can let me know what you guys think specifically on this drama. I think it's stupid, in my personal opinion. And also, Withering Waves is not a Souls-like, and Zenless Zone Zero is not a fighting game. I don't know who said this. I don't know who said these stuff, but it's not any of those things, okay? All right? Anyways, that's the end of the video. Peace.